As I always say, just trade what you know. It's very important, this. It's a rule that will save you from all sorts of grief in the future. Like, for instance, I just did a trade just now. I saw the setup on the 90 here and knew that it was going to go through 2 sets. And look how accurate this framework is. I traded down to that line exactly, and it was only there for about a second, but it got there. This barrier is also a barrier on the 382, so we know it's a strong barrier. So I traded down to that line, got out of the trade because I knew it would bounce. It's a strong barrier, so it will bounce off a barrier like that before it carries on. This is the time right now. It's 9:20, so there'll be an announcement in 10 minutes, and I would imagine it'll probably carry on down, but I'm just going to wait and see what the setup is. It certainly looks as if it will carry on down, but let's not assume, because I don't actually know that yet. I'm going to wait. It's not only important to know what you know and know when to trade, but it's also important to know what action you should take with that knowledge. You may remember this video that I shot on the 27th of November, which was a bit frustrating because this is what I said. And see, where is it going to go? Well, judging on the information that I have in front of me, I knew where it was going to go, but I knew it would take a long time to get there. It was better to concentrate on what was in front of me and what was going to happen in the short term, because I could make profit out of that, but I couldn't have made profit out of that little bit of knowledge that I was about to tell you, and this is what it was. From this setup on the 236, I knew that eventually it would go 2 sets up to reach this line, which is 1.5716. But along the way, of course, if we make that smaller, we see that since the 27th of November we had this huge drop down here, which would have basically wiped you out. But at the end of the day, it actually reached that line and just touched it for a few minutes, and that candlestick there ended on 5718. So there is a lot of information on this framework, but you've really got to be clear and present to know how to use it. Personally, I don't think traders should be fooled into thinking that just by gaining more technical knowledge and that will improve their trading. Trading is essentially simple, and ultimately when you make a decision to go into a trade, it is an intuitive decision. It's a decision based on your feeling that it's the right time to go into a trade. Even after you've analyzed everything, thought about it, looked at your charts, it's a feeling that you have that says it's a good time to go into a trade. Your feelings are intuitive. Your intuition is run by your subconscious. Your subconscious is run by your programming. So if you can get your programming right, you will be able to be clear and present to be able to take the trade. And the more you are clear and present, the more money you can effectively let in with trading. Because even if you can see in front of you a perfect setup, you can still mess it up if you are fearful, if you can't let that money in, if you can't let that decision happen. The decision you make, while it may be based on very sound logic, you will only take that decision when it feels right to take that decision. So it is the feeling that is actually governing your trading, and it is the subconscious programming that will govern whether you freak out, whether you take the trade, and how much of that trade you're able to get. So don't be fooled by technical expertise. It's more important to do your mindset homework and get yourself into alignment with your charts so that you can take advantage of being able to really see what's going on with a clear and present mind.